Well, hello everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. I am actually currently on my winter vacation right now. I'm filming this in my parents' basement in Maryland, hence the interesting backdrop. But I got some tea with me, actually some hot ginger tea. This is still steeping though. And I have some cayenne cleanse kombucha. So I got some beverages and I figured we would do a chats with Caitlin because 2018 is almost at an end and I kind of just wanted to talk with you guys, catch up with you guys. I feel like I haven't filmed one of these videos in a really long time and I do get requests every once in a while to film them. So if you guys just want to hang out with me for like the next, I don't know, however many minutes, we're gonna do that. Also, I'm wearing a beanie because my hair is incredibly dirty and I'm not wearing makeup, but I don't care because I'm on vacation and I'm supposed to be relaxing, so such is life. So I think 2018 was a really good year for some people, a really challenging year for some people, and for me, I feel like it was kind of a mix of in-betweens. Like 2018 was definitely a really big year for me in terms of personal, financial, and like business related growth, but I also had my own fair share of personal challenges and stuff. So I thought I would break this video up just by separating the business and more personal side of things, because I know you guys are interested in how I run my blog and support myself, as well as I think some of you guys are interested in my personal life. I mean, you seem to be interested when I talk about it, so we're gonna be doing that. This kombucha is very spicy, but I like it. But yeah, so I wrote some notes down on my phone, just so I wouldn't forget anything major. So if I'm looking down, that's why. But let's just get into it. I figured we would start with business because that's less fun. I mean, it is fun because it's my job, but you know, I feel like it's more boring. I don't know. But yeah, my business this year went really, really well. 2018 was actually my first year running From My Bowl as a full-time business. So going into the year, I really had this go-getter attitude and I wanted to work really hard, put in a lot of effort, build a platform that could be taken seriously, and I guess I just wanted other people to take me seriously and just appreciate, I guess, the quality of my work as well. I was taking myself seriously before, I guess, but I think I wanted to hold myself to a higher standard and produce really high quality content that I would be proud of, because this was my full-time job in my business. And I think I did do that throughout the year. I definitely think I have improved a lot in both the editing of my videos. I already regret drinking kombucha because I'm gonna be burping this whole video now. Like I was saying, I think my video editing really improved, as well as my photography and just my personal business management skills and knowing my worth and working with brands as well. I got to meet some really awesome people this year through business, which is really cool, who helped me realize my self-worth and sort of, I guess, market myself more as a professional in the business, because at the end of the day, social media and this online content realm is really new and we're also trying to figure it out. So it was really helpful for me to gain some friendships with other peers and colleagues who could give me advice. I definitely think that helped, and I also did a lot of my own research through free YouTube courses or podcasts and things like that on how to make my business better. So in general, I'd say 2018 was a really good year for From My Bowl, but that being said, I put in a lot of freaking work. I was working way more than a 40-hour work week. I was pretty much working 7 days a week from the moment I woke up to like the moment I went to bed, just because I was really passionate about it and it didn't really seem like work to me a lot of the times. And I still love my job and I have fun while doing my job. But once I moved to the Vancouver area, I actually told myself that I needed to start to take a little bit of a step back from work, just because I was definitely feeling the burnout, and that's something that I am still struggling with. But I am really grateful for all the hard work and effort that I did put into my job, and I have had a lot of really great opportunities this year and I'm really grateful for them. And I think part of it has to do with maybe being in the right place at the right time and maybe being like a white woman. I do acknowledge my privilege in the wellness space. But I also did work really hard, so I want to acknowledge that too. But that being said, by the end of the year, I really was starting to feel the burnout and take a step back. So in this coming year for 2019, I definitely want to manage my time more wisely, maybe start to outsource a few things and really figure out where I want my business to go, but how I can do that in the most sustainable way. And this is really interesting to me because it's something that I've personally been going through. And I thought I was kind of alone in the wellness space or just like the entrepreneur space in the social media realm and feeling this way. But I think a lot of content creators have actually been coming out and speaking about very similar things, like the topics of burnout, or maybe they were just working themselves too hard and they need to take a break from social media, or they need to take a step back and reevaluate. And I also have noticed that this theme seems to be a lot more common in younger content creators, and I think that's because we have sort of grown up with social media and it's a big part of our social lives. And so for us who work with social media, I think it can become all consuming, and at some points it may become our entire lives, where there was definitely a point in time where everything that I was doing in my free time, I had no side passions or projects or anything that I was working on that didn't relate to From My Bowl and my business. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing well, no, I do think that's a bad thing in and of itself, because even though I love my job, we're all human beings like outside of our jobs as well. And I think that a lot of us have put too much of ourselves out there, or we compared ourselves to so many different other people who are hustling endlessly and unnecessarily. And we've all been just cranking out content, putting out so much content that we're all starting to get exhausted and frankly kind of tired of the social media system. Or it's like, I mean, honestly, I don't get too caught up in the Instagram numbers, but I know some people who do. But like the whole stupid algorithm and like fighting to see if your post is even gonna be seen by your audience and stuff. It can definitely get easy to get worked up about that stuff. I try not to, but I understand why other people do. And I think it's all just sort of wearing all of us down. And I've been talking to several different friends who have on this platform and on other platforms for social media. And I think we all sort of feel kind of overwhelmed and like we need to take a break. And I think that if so many of us are feeling that definitely says something about the line of work, and maybe not just all of us, but maybe what like society is encouraging, or we think that people want like this many videos per week or this much content per week, when in reality, or at least I think, like you guys are awesome, and as my audience, I think you would be happy with me putting out as much content as I was comfortable with. And I think sometimes I'm just too hard on myself, and I think I need to put out like 2-3 videos a week, when in reality the sustainable option might be to choose 1 video a week and have it be a higher quality video, but something that I know everyone is still going to enjoy. So I've definitely been thinking a lot about that, and I do think my content is going to change next year. I don't plan on leaving any social media platforms or quitting any forms of social media, or even really taking an extended break. But I'm definitely planning on sitting down and reevaluating my presence on all of my social media platforms and how I can better serve myself and serve my audience. So for example, like I love making YouTube videos, but they do take a lot of time, especially my like 3 recipe video ones. But people seem to like videos that have 3 recipes more than videos that have 1 recipe. So I might just put out less videos. I'm still going to post at least 1 YouTube video a week, but I think some weeks I might post 2 videos and some weeks I might post 1. And I think I'm going to start capturing, excuse me, kombucha burp. And I also think I'm going to start capturing more of my everyday life through vlogs and like what I eat in a day videos, because I know you guys like that too, or at least you have told me in the past that you like that. So I think I'm going to go in that direction. But that being said, let me know in the comments below. Like I do make these videos for you guys who are my audience, and I want you to appreciate them. So it'd actually be really helpful if you left a comment and told me what content you're interested in seeing in 2019, because I'm definitely going to take that into consideration. Very happy with my business. It has become a sustainable income for me. I'm able to support myself and then some. I have money for savings, and I know some people think it's weird to make all your money online on social media, and it definitely takes a lot of hard work, but I'm very grateful that I am able to support myself in doing so. But obviously there are 2 sides to every story, so the business is great if you're objectively looking at it, but there's also the personal life. And I would say like my personal life really did suffer in the beginning of 2018. I definitely isolated myself, like I said, because I was working so hard on my business and I wanted my business to grow. And I do think as an entrepreneur, you have to realize that at certain parts of your life, you're going to have to work hard and maybe sacrifice some things in order to like grow in the long term. However, like I don't think I needed to sacrifice as much as I did and not have as little of a life as I did in the beginning of 2018. I definitely isolated myself, and I do think working for yourself online alone can be very isolating, because even though you are interacting with people through social media, it's a very one-sided relationship. Because if you guys think about it, this is why I love meeting in person, because I actually get to have like a two-sided conversation with you. Whereas when you're just watching my videos, you guys get to learn a lot more about me, and I get to see your comments, but it's not really having a full conversation, and I don't know as much about you. So I think that that can be very emotionally draining for me, because my brain is still sort of registering it as a social interaction, but I'm not getting the full benefits of an in-person interaction. But because my brain is already tired, I kind of wanted to do less in-person interactions, and I think that's why my social life sort of suffered in the beginning of the year, if that makes sense. But once I moved out to the West Coast, which is a huge, also other personal accomplishment, I like moved across the country, so I am very proud of myself for doing that. And I love it out there. But once I moved out there, I told myself that enough was enough. I couldn't just lock myself in my little apartment all day, and I really wanted to try to do things just for fun and just because, and not record them on social media, and just hang out with my friends and not work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I started to do that when I moved out, and it was definitely hard and more stressful just with the whole process of moving and adjusting. But I'm really grateful to have my roommates Jasmine and Chris, who also have a YouTube channel and a blog, Sweet Simple Vegan. I am very grateful that I got to live with them. We all moved out together to a house in Vancouver, Washington. And it was really nice to be able to see someone on a daily basis who is doing the same thing as you, like working in social media, because they were kind of a support system for me, and we could vent to each other about problems that none of our other friends would necessarily understand. And then our other friends also moved up to Vancouver from that area at the same time. So I got to become closer friends with my friends Monica and Kat and Tom. I don't think they watch my videos, but shout out if you do. So it was really nice to have like real life friends and be doing real life things, and like just going to get drinks, or I joined a yoga studio. And it was really nice to sort of, I felt like I was more becoming myself again, because in Miami I was solely consumed in my job, but now that I live in the Pacific Northwest, I feel like I'm allowing myself to have more time to explore other things that I love. Like for a while I was kind of feeling about my yoga practice, and I've been feeling really inspired by it now, and I've been working on it a lot harder, and I'm just doing things I love. Who cares if I'm not working on the weekends? Like I would rather have time with my friends and like people who I actually care about. And I also did put more of an effort into long distance relationships, because I have a few friends who don't live with me who are some of my closest friends, and I talk to them all the time on the phone, and it's been really nice to, I guess, sort of have that human interaction again, because for a while I was I like isolating myself, I think, pretty much. Shout out to Meg, my best friend who lives in New York. I don't think she watches my videos either, but she helped me through a lot this year. On a personal level, I'd also say that 2018 was a good year overall. I think it was a year of learning in general, actually, for both my business and my personal life. I did a lot of self-exploration, and I had a lot of really cool opportunities, some of them through work. Like I got to travel, I got to make a lot of new friends, I think, this year, colleagues in the workplace and non-work related friends. I was also, I think, very inquisitive in general, both in the business model, learning how I could grow my business, but just in my personal life too, in like reflections and how are my current actions serving me? Is my current mindset serving me? Could I be doing something different? 2018 also had some very emotionally taxing moments for me. I've been going through some personal struggles for a while that I haven't talked about online, and I actually don't intend to talk about online. It's kind of like the work-life balance that I'm trying to navigate on how much I want to share. And that was really hard for me, but I had a really good support system through my friends Meg and my mom. And my boyfriend Dylan now has also been really supportive, and I have sort of been able to get through that, and it's kind of on the upside now, so I feel really good about that. I've definitely put in a lot of work and cried a lot, but I'm working through it, and I think I'm able to see the more positive side of things. And yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that I did have a lot of good things happen, but I also had some bad things happen. But overall, I would say I feel pretty grateful, and I think it balances out, and I've had a pretty good year, and I am proud of how much I've grown as a person. I definitely think I've blossomed once I've moved out to the Pacific Northwest, and I've really ask myself who I am as a person and realize what I believe in and what I think I need in my life to make me happy, and sort of challenging beliefs that I've always believed, or maybe other negative beliefs that are no longer serving me, that's sort of keeping me in a certain mental rut. I've definitely been challenging myself to get rid of those and think about things in another way, because I think when we grow up, we're taught these certain sets of rules from our peers, from our parents, from our schooling system, whatever, and it can be really easy to just accept those as facts. But I think you learn a lot more about yourself when you challenge them. Also, I already mentioned my boyfriend, but on a personal note, I did enter a relationship. It's going very well. You guys have already met Dylan online, but that was definitely one of my highlights. He's a really great person. I don't know, maybe one day we'll film a boyfriend Q&A thing for you guys. But he'll definitely be around in 2019, and you guys will be seeing him in future videos. So you'll learn more about him that way. But for now, I'll just say he's a pretty freaking great, and I feel pretty lucky to be with him. Like I said, I think 2018 for me was definitely a year of learning and inquisitiveness, but also personal growth and vulnerability. I definitely put myself out there and asked a lot of questions that put me outside of my comfort zone and made me feel uncomfortable, but in the end, I think I grew a lot more as a person, and I hope to continue that into the next year. Like, personally, I'm not a huge person for New Year's resolutions, and I don't have anything about my life that I like drastically want to change, because honestly, I think 2018 ended on a pretty freaking good note, and I'm just realizing all the things that I have in my life that I am grateful for, and I want to continue to keep those into the next year. Oh, this cheese is good. This is actually my first time trying it. But 2019, I have a few like overarching things just that I want to work on personally, not necessarily as soon as January 1st strikes, but just things that I've been wanting to work on for a while anyways. Definitely non-attachment. I think we live in a very materialistic society, and the social media realm in general can be very materialistic. And growing up, my family didn't have tons of money. Like, we weren't really, really poor, but we definitely weren't like wealthy. And I feel like I've sort of fallen into this new social media realm of like wealth and buying all these expensive superfoods and like having to have the cutest clothes and staying on trend and being fashionable and stuff. And I think all those things are nice, and it can be easy to get caught up in those things, and there's nothing wrong with wanting things or buying things. And I definitely plan to continue to buy new things. But I definitely want to be more conscious, because I think it can get really easy to get caught up in that and being like, oh, I need this new seasonal color of yoga leggings, when in reality, I have plenty of yoga leggings and I probably don't need to buy any for the rest of my life or until they start to rip or something like that. So I think I want to challenge myself next year to be a little bit more mindful about my consumption, and just because I can afford to buy something doesn't mean that I necessarily mean to, because I definitely think I could be spending my money in better ways, or just saving it for things that are actually going to serve me. Like, at the end of the day, having 50 new sweaters that are super trendy really doesn't matter. What matters is your personal relationships with people and how happy you are and how you see yourself in the world and stuff like that. So I want to practice non-attachment. And then another thing I wanted to work on is giving and receiving compliments. I'm a pretty humble person, and I definitely want to stay humble. I'm not trying to get egotistical here, but it's always been hard for me to receive compliments from other people. I think because I've always been pretty self-conscious too, and not very confident in myself. I want to get better at receiving compliments and saying thank you to people, but I also think because it's so hard for me to receive compliments, I don't give them as often either. And it really does make your day when like a random person just says, hey, I really like your sweater, or just like complimenting your friend and being like, hey, I just want to say like I really appreciate our talks together and I think you're a really wise and insightful person. Like, how awesome would that be if your friend just randomly texted you that? I'm pretty sure it would make your day. And then last but not least, just in general, I mean, I started working on this towards the end of 2018, but in 2019, I really do want to work on establishing a work-life balance and living my own life while simultaneously doing enough to support my business. I could be smarter, spending my time in a smarter way, or outsourcing content or tasks in order for me to still have fun and for my business to still be fine. My business is still going to be fine. Like, I'm not going to quit or do anything, but I definitely want to work on finding that balance and realizing that I don't have to be perfect, because no one's perfect, and just, you know, sort of figuring it out as I go and going with the flow. I'm type A, so maybe it's time to relax a little, live life up, drink more kombucha, maybe a glass of wine every now and then. But yeah, I think that's pretty much my summary. For for 2018/goals for 2019. Oh, but I did want to take a moment to say thank you guys all so freaking much, because I literally would not be here without you. And I don't want this to sound like overly forced or cheesy, because it's not forced, and it might be cheesy, but it'll be vegan cheesy. But I really am so grateful to have a job where I'm able to pursue my passions and to have such an awesome, like, supportive audience. Like, nothing makes me happier than when I get to actually meet you guys in person and talk to you and give you hugs, or when you guys send me photos or emails of my own recipes that you make, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they actually liked it. And things like that. Like, it blows my mind that I have such a supportive community, and I really am very grateful for all of you guys, and thank you for giving me a means to support myself, and I hope you're enjoying my content too along the way. But I definitely never want to, I guess, kind of forget where I came from, but like, also, I never want to forget you guys, because at the end of the day, I do this for you. I want other people to try vegan recipes and vegan food and live happy lives and have fun in the kitchen and cook some good food and share it with their family and friends, and realize that you don't have to be a perfect affluent vegan in order to make a difference in the world and eat more plants and stuff. So thank you all so much. I hope your 2018s were pretty good. I know 2018 was a hard year for some people, so if that includes you, I am sorry, and here's to 2019 being better. Oh, you guys should leave a comment below. Tell me your favorite thing that happened to you in 2018, or one of them. And if you have any goals or aspirations for the next year, tell me that too. So that's it for this chat with Caitlin. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your year. I will see you in 2019. I have some cool projects planned for you guys that I'm very excited to share. But until then, have an awesome rest of your day/days, whatever time of day it is for you. And I will see you later. Bye.